Okay, technique 102. Let's talk about palm muting now. Palm muting is where you actually put your palm where the bridge meets the strings to mute the strings a little bit. So for example, if I'm playing this G, sometimes you're going to want to have it ring open, right? But other times you're going to want, because it helps you control the volume, it changes the actual sound of the chord, and it gives it that chunkiness, right? That's what palm muting is. Now, especially when you do distortion, it becomes very, very clear. You're going to go back and forth between right? You let it ring out, and then you palm mute to get that crunch, right? Again, palm mute. That's what palm muting is. But there is a cool little technique to it. This is important. You want to have your palm as close to the back of the bridge as possible. So, for example, when you're trying to find where to palm mute, because it's kind of different on every guitar, but only very, very slightly, the best thing to do is to start ahead. You start with some open strings, and you'll see right away there's no meat to that at all, right? Because you're way above the bridge. You're way above. As you move back, it's going to get chunkier, right? And then when you go too far, the strings are just going to start ringing open. And it's right above that cusp where you're going to find your wheelhouse, that real meaty part. So as I go back, just listen. There's that meaty, meaty chunk. Now if I go back too far, I'm just ringing open, right? I'm just ringing open. So if I keep going forward, it starts to mute again. And if I go too far forward, it gets too thin. So you want to take the time and get a feel on your guitar where that chunky spot is, right? And you're gonna feel the bridge, and you're gonna feel the string, and it's gonna be basically in the middle of your palm, right there. And it's gonna be somewhere in there, because what you're really going for is that big chunk. And this is the same on acoustic guitars or electric guitars. You're gonna have that. You're gonna want that big chunk to, you know, riff around. So that's palm muting. So when you're practicing your progressions and you're working with even scales in the future, you want to get used to palm muting. So go back and forth between playing completely clean with distortion, letting the notes ring out, muting them a little bit, get a feel for all the different sounds you can make on the guitar. So why don't you post a video and do some palm muting for me. See you next lesson.